Welcome, everyone, to the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. This is your host, Virginia Parsons, and today we're going to be talking about collaborative strategies to build a wildly successful business with my guest, Stacie Walker. So hold on for a moment, and we'll get started right after the preview. Welcome, everybody, to the Inspirational Businesswoman Show. I so appreciate that you're taking the time today to really watch what I think is a very inspirational woman. I can't wait to introduce you to her in just a moment. But I want to thank you for being here. And by the way, if you think that this topic was going to be of interest to anyone that you know, go ahead and push on one of the social buttons and share it with your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors. Let's help spread the word because we've got some fascinating information coming your way today. So again, thank you for being here. I just want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you have the ability to take a totally free assessment. Now, this assessment is brand new. It's all about live stream marketing using not only my favorite, which is Hangouts and YouTube Live, but also Facebook and so many of the other mediums that are taking place out there. And the point being is that you need to start thinking how you can incorporate all these forms of live streaming into your business to help you brand, grow, and market even more effectively. So to take advantage of that assessment, all you need to do is text the word success, SUCCESS, to 775-800-4179. And you might even qualify for a complimentary Shine strategy session with me, where you and I will sit down and take a serious look at your business and how you can start incorporating these amazing platforms to grow your business. So take advantage of it, won't you? Now, I want to introduce you to my special guest today, Stacie Walker. And here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be discussing collaborative strategies to build a wildly successful business. And in the process, Stacie's going to be discussing with us how to amplify your online message for increased visibility. That's the first step. Number two, how to increase your credibility so that you attract more quality leads. And finally, she's going to be discussing how you can join forces and really collaborate to accelerate your growth. Now, Stacie Walker is the CEO of a Virtual Solopreneur. She is a business strategist, and she has been helping what she would call frustrated online entrepreneurs to grow their business using her specific strategies. So Stacie, come on, unmute yourself and come on and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Hello, audience. And hello, Virginia. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I think we're going to have some fun today. This is a very interesting topic because I'm a firm believer in collaboration, but of course, I'm sure you want to know my beginnings, like where I started and how I got into this entrepreneurial world. So,
Well, absolutely, I
yeah.
do. And you know, that's one of the things I always start an interview with, because I think I told you, I think it's really important. I'm interested, number one, and I figure if I'm interested, so are the viewers interested in hearing about how you got started on this journey. We all have paths we've been on prior to the entrepreneurial online journey. For one thing, the online journey hasn't been around that many years. So I am really happy that you're here to share that. Before we start, I want to just say hi to Elise, because she's stopping by and saying hello and putting lots of great comments in, and we appreciate you stopping by, Elise. And the rest of you, come on and say hi to us. Let us know where you're viewing from. We do want to hear from you. We really would like your engagement in the interview. And a little bit, I know questions will come up, or you're gonna get a big aha moment from Stacie, and we'd like to hear about that as well. So don't be shy. Type in the comment section and let us know you're here. Thank you for doing that, Elise. Okay, so let's start, Stacie, with just that.
Just that.
Just that. How did you get started as an entrepreneur? What was your defining moment?
My goodness. Well, my defining moment, Virginia, happened in 2008. And first of all, you know what, let me back up just a little bit more, because I grew up middle-class family, you know, father military, mom medical field nurse. So I grew up in a household where we were raised to get our education and then get a career and stay in that career until we retire. So I never really thought entrepreneurship was like an option for me, you know. So, you know, I went through the motions. When I turned 16, I got my first job and worked, you know, and became a little bit independent. And, you know, I've worked so many traditional jobs. And, you know, Virginia, it was like so strange, because no matter what I did, and believe me, I've done everything from waitressing to working for LabCorp, customer service, you name it, I've probably done it. And the thing was, no matter what I did, I was good at it, but there was always something inside of me, and I could not figure out what it was, that I just wasn't fulfilled or satisfied. So either I would get bored and quit, or I get fired, because, you know, I just lost the motivation and the drive to go into work. And I thought there was just seriously something wrong with me. I was like, I don't know what it is what's wrong. And, you know, I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy at what I do, you know, and I've tried all sorts of things. You know, I even went to college 3 different times for 3 different degrees. You know, one was for admin, one was for medical billing and coding, and the last one was for entrepreneurship. But I didn't even complete that. I lasted maybe 2 semesters. And at that time, I was living in Texas. I was working for the University of Texas Health Science Center in the psychiatry department. And basically what I was a data management research assistant. I entered in data based on the studies that the doctors were placing on individuals that were trying to get help with drug and alcohol addiction and THC and stuff like that. So, you know, I had a nice cushy job, you know, and I had that job for a few years, and I had like a retirement account. Every month I got like 7 or 8 hours of sick leave, paid leave, vacation. So benefits, you know, I had the job, you know, I had that career where I could move up. You know, I worked for, you know, the state. So, you know, I was like, okay, well, this is it. You know, this is what everybody talks about, is having that. And I was, you know, in my about late 20s when that happened. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, late 20s when I had that job. And I ended up getting sick. I just wasn't feeling well. And of course, at that time, I really wasn't the healthiest person. I really didn't sleep much. I didn't eat right. And I started getting pain like on my shoulder and my back, you know, like right by basically where my kidney, you know, or no, it wasn't my kidney. I thought it was my kidney, but it was my liver. And I went on like with this pain for like about 3 weeks, Virginia. And finally I got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And I went into the emergency room, and, you know, my first husband, he took me in, of course, because I couldn't drive. And the doctor was like, you know, they ran all the tests, and, you know, I was like thinking, well, maybe I have an infection or something like that. And my doctor, he said, your enzyme levels are so high that if you would have waited a few more days to come in here, you would not be alive. If you would have waited, you would be dead. And I was like, what? Why? And he said, well, first of all, you have a small liver, you know, than the average size liver. And I never knew this. You know, this is the first time I ever heard anything about this. So he told me my liver had to work even harder to get rid of the toxins, but my liver couldn't do it. So basically my body was just toxic and I was dying, and I didn't realize it, you know, until weeks later. You know, I should have gone in. So he told me to go to bed or go home, because I didn't even stay in the hospital. He said, go home, go to bed, and stay there until you get your body right. And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to bounce back in 2 weeks. No, it was like months started passing by. And, you know, my doctor wouldn't release, you know, me to go back to work. And I still had savings, and I still had my retirement. I had all that. My husband at the time was working 2 jobs, but the money was going. It was going. And I have you know, at that time, my oldest, you know, he was pretty young. So things are starting to get kind of stressful, because I was at a point of being helpless and not in control. And I was like, I've got to do something, or, you know, in about a month or 2, we're going to be homeless. You know, we're going to be homeless. Now that I think about it, I'm sure my parents would have let me go back home. But at that time, I just was not thinking that, because I didn't have the best relationship with them then. So I started looking online.
Were you working at this time, or trying to work at this time at one of those jobs?
Well, when I was sick, that's when I was working at the University of Texas Health Science Center. So I had to, you know, take a leave of absence. So I couldn't work. My doctor would not release me to work. And, you know, my boss there's no way. And plus, I just was not in a condition. Like, how I made it that long without going was just phenomenal. You know,
that's a testament in and of itself.
Right. Like, I did not
tough it out.
Right. No, like, I did not realize how sick I was until all the data was presented to me. Like, hey, you're not getting rid of your toxins, and your days from death. And it was just crazy, because I was kind of in denial. I was. I didn't realize the seriousness of the situation. And it started kicking in when that fear and the magnitude of how serious this was I wasn't getting better. So, I mean, weeks were passing by. And, you know, like I said, we had a cushion of money to last us for about a good 6-7 months. And it was about month 6 and I still was not better. And my husband could not afford to take care of everything, even though he had 2 jobs. Of course, I was the breadwinner. So I was like, I'm not going to just sit here and let us go homeless. You know, I have a little boy, and I just can't do it. So remember, this is 2008. So I was looking online, and I was like, okay, well, I've heard of work at home jobs, you know, from word of mouth and stuff like that. I never even considered it an option, because I was so used to working out. I mean, it's 2008. It just wasn't common like it is now. So I started looking, and I found an opportunity where it's that you could work from home and make whatever income, and to be a health benefits specialist. And at the time, I didn't know it was a network marketing opportunity, because I never heard of that. So I went ahead and, you know, made my appointment. I signed up because my mentor at the time, you know, she made a really good case for me. And I was like, you know what, why not? I'll try it. I have nothing to lose. So that's when I got into network marketing. And I did well. But the only downside to it was that I had to learn how to do all my networking online. And this is 2008. So back then, and some do still teach this now, is that you have to go out. You have to physically go out, go to meetings, and network with people. And I couldn't do it. I was on bed rest. So I had to get really creative. And I have no background in business, marketing, sales, none of that. So I had a time on my hand. I had a lot of time. And I built up a team pretty quickly, like within 4 months. And I taught them everything that I did online, because they were like, how are you able to do this at home? You know, it literally in the bed. And I showed them, and I realized that I enjoyed teaching. And this is something that I always loved doing, because I remember when I was a little girl that I would line up my dolls, teddy bears, and stuff like that, and be the teacher, you know. And I guess I always had a natural gift for it, but it just like dormant until 2008. So I built up a team quickly, and I was making more money by selling my own products, you know, my own programs, not only to the people within my team, but other companies, other network marketing companies, even brick and mortar. And I was like, wait a minute. So I'm not really pigeonholed just into this network marketing company. And I have nothing against network marketing. I have many clients and friends that are in it, but it just wasn't for me. You know, my passion was doing my own thing, and teaching, you know, entrepreneurs, whether they're a service-based business, a product-based business, or a network marketing business, whatever I teach, it works. And that's when my journey started of doing my own thing. And it's led me on this path to where I am today, which is crazy, because I mean, if I would have told myself this is what I was going to be doing at age 40, I would have like laughed. I'd be like, yeah, right, you know. But it has been incredible journey, and it's not even over. You know, it's not even over. I love it. You know, I just cannot believe how incredible my life has been over the past 10 years.
So, you know, really what you're saying in a nutshell is necessity, as we've all heard, is the mother of invention. And you were placed in a situation where you really had to be on bed rest to let your liver restore, apparently. And in the process, caused you to look and search and be creative beyond, you know, any other form of traditional income. So good for you on that, isn't it? You know, for all of those people who have had their own struggles, you know, and I've been interviewing a few people lately with some major life stories. I mean, I think you said, Stacie, you were bedridden for a year. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A year.
Yes.
A year.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Good for you, because you use that time to really reinvent yourself and find all new possibilities. And yeah, network marketing is one of those that is a possibility for people. You know, they say you can start at part-time and start to grow a secondary income, but you found that it was a way to learn how to teach, and that's really what your passion was. So the reason I like to really emphasize the stories as we start is that everyone has a journey and everyone has struggles. And once you learn how to use those to your advantage I can say this, trajectory a little bit, you now find yourself in a place that you now love, that you're passionate about. And now your passion is what carries you along with execution to be able to not only support yourself and your family, but also help all sorts of other women do the same. And now, I think we haven't pointed this out, but you really, because you also have now another young child, are focusing on mompreneurs, which I love. Yes. Those women who want to be home with their kids as much as possible and still want to build a career and a business. So before we go into just the three topics, let's just talk a little bit about why you decided to focus on mompreneurs for your business.
Yes, absolutely, Virginia. Well, you know, when I started my, my business back in 2008, my oldest, he's 19, he's going to be 19 in May. So, of course he went to daycare and he was in school all day. He stayed with, family while I worked. And I always wanted to be with him and spend as much time with him because, I grew up in a household where, my dad, of course, Army Reserve. So he was gone a lot. And then my mom, a nurse, working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I always wanted and I love my mom, and I'm thankful to the Lord that she did what she did. But, at the time when I was younger, I just was like, man, I want my mom to be a part of the PTA meeting. I want her to pick me up from school. I wanted those things. And I always said, if I have kids, I want to do that. And then when I had a kid, it didn't happen that way. And so, my oldest, he did not have me around because I was always working, not as much, by the time I spent time with them, it was already the end of the day. He had to go to sleep, in an hour or two. So, and that's pretty common. It's just common for us as a culture to work most of the day, and then we spend this little window of time with our kids on a daily basis because we're out working in a traditional job or career. And how this works out with my my youngest, Jordan, he's 16 months. Well, I had taken a 2-year hiatus from my business because I went on a self-care sabbatical because 2013 was like my breakout year. Like I became an international best-selling author. I had the top 100 small business podcast, and I met so many people. My network expanded like crazy. Best year of my life, business-wise, but personally, I ran myself to the ground. I did not practice self-care like I do today. So I had to make a choice. Either I'm going to continue going on the same route and end up either back on bed rest again or dead, because I've known of entrepreneurs, highly successful, but they don't have the healthiest lives because they don't take care of themselves and they go to an early grave, or just something tragic happens to stop them in their tracks. And I didn't want that to happen. So I decided to take a 2-year, or actually decided to take 1 year. But at the end of that 1 year is when I found out that I was pregnant with my Jordan. And being 39 and pregnant, that's a high-risk pregnancy. So my OBGYN was like, he was joking. He was like, you're old, so, you're going to have to, this is a high-risk pregnancy. You're going to have to, take it easy, no working 12-30, because he knew that, I worked a lot. And he was like, if you want this baby to survive, you need to take care of yourself. So that's what I did. I did a lot of sleeping, eating, I did all the things to make sure he survived, because I miscarried twice in 1 year before I was pregnant with Jordan. So that, on top of being high risk, there was a chance that he wouldn't have survived, but he did. And maybe it was because I didn't have any stress in my life and I was just focusing on my self-care. I don't know, but I'm guessing yes, so by the time I came back to work, which was like almost 5 months ago, I tried to get back into what I was doing 2 years ago, and it just did not feel right. I was just totally off course. I wasn't aligned. And, I was like, I've been connecting with moms, new mothers, and there's more of a connection. It just comes easy. So I was like, since I'm building this network of entrepreneurial women who are mothers of either young children, or they're expecting, or, they have older children or grandkids, I was like, this feels right. I said, I think I'm just going to revamp my whole business. And this was after I already had a new site design and everything. Like, I just am not afraid to just demolish everything and start all over. Like most people would be like, are you crazy? You did all of this and you're just going to start all over. And I was like, well, yeah, because I'm going to do what feels right. And so because I had to like learn how to be a mom all over again. You know, things have changed, and 18 years is a big gap between my oldest and my youngest. So it's like I had to learn everything all over again. And that's why, you know, my focus is on moms, women who are moms, and they put their dreams on hold. Okay, these are the women that maybe wanted to pursue their passions or live an incredible life, not having to work a job that they hate by building their own business, but they put their dreams on hold. They put them on the back burner because they have their family, you know. And as women, it seems like it's pretty common for us to put ourselves on the back burner. We put everybody else first. And I was like, no, it can't be that way. You know, we have to put ourselves first and design a beautiful life doing what we love. Okay, that way we can create that legacy for our family. And if you envision your life being able to take more vacations or buy that dream home, or homeschool your kids and retire your husband or your partner, you know, things like that. So that's where it started, because, you know, I was like, I know these women are struggling and they've got to get off that fence and just go forward. So that's where my mission. I stand for moms to put themselves first so they can design a beautiful life, period. And they can do this.
That's gorgeous. And I wanted to have you spend some time on that. And we've got Auguste, if I'm pronouncing it right, Augusta, who's just big happy face smiles going on about the children. I'm so in love with the fact that they see me more than anyone else. Yeah, that's a hard thing to drop your kids off at daycare while you go to a traditional 9-to-5 job. There's no doubt about it. So you're really, and the other point I want to make that you made so brilliantly was, I thought I had the path all set when I came back into the workforce online, built a whole site, and decided I wasn't in alignment with it. So it's really critical that when you're setting up your online business, that you feel this connection, this desire to get out there and make a difference in other people's lives. And if it wasn't right at that time, brilliant on you. That, because you're right, many people wouldn't have the courage or say, oh my God, I can't, I've got to stay with this. I've invested all this time and maybe money and energy into a different thing. So you're really giving some great, I think, experiences to encourage other people that it's okay to shift trajectory once again. So let's move on, because now everything that you're doing is sort of wrapped around or embracing mompreneurs as your main audience. And, you know, that can even include me. I'm a grandmapreneur. So you don't just have to be a mom. I was a mom and still am. But let's talk about the part of amplifying your message so you can get increased visibility, because obviously you want the women you're working with to be guided to live this balanced life that's healthy, that has time for the kids. And yet you've got to get them visible quickly. So let's hear about it.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, whether you are starting a business or you've been in a business, but you're not, or you're building your business, but you're not getting the results that you want, it all comes down to being visible. And right now we live in a time where we have all this wonderful but terrible technology. You know, it's that love-hate thing. But the way that I think about it is that we have access to something that we never have before in recorded history. And we have access to people all over the world, 24/7, nonstop. And the way that it's going is that it's not going to stop. I think Gary Vaynerchuk said that people thought that the internet was going to be a fad. And no, it's not. It's our way of life. And it's not going away unless we get knocked back into the Stone Ages. But as far as right now, the best way to get visible is online, because everybody's there. Most people are on Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. You know, that's where people are. So you as an entrepreneur, you want to be visible there because your market is there. Most likely your market is on Facebook. right now I am mainly teaching people how to get visible on Facebook and Instagram, because those are the two social platforms that I use on my business right now. And I'm big on this, Virginia, that I am not going to teach anybody anything that I have not done. If I haven't done it, I have no right to teach them. And because I don't feel right, you know, and I want to also show, I have proof that I am doing this. And I even work with them together. I had a challenge to where I was doing the challenge with them. But it was a social media challenge, but that's for another day. But the important thing is that we have to be visible as entrepreneurs. This never stops. So the easiest way to leverage your time, and you can get visible like face to face with people, but it is easier to scale and get more visible online. And you do this through social platforms, and you have to have a system in place to be able to get visible. You have to have a system in place so you can measure and track what you're doing. Like, that's one thing that successful business owners do. They track everything, not just the money. They want to know where their market is and what they're doing, if it's effective or not. If it's not, then you pivot and you try things differently. So as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, whether you're just starting or you've been doing it, but you're not getting the results you want, then that means that you got to get more visible. Being visible online is the lifeblood of your business, because there's what, 6 or 7 billion people in the world. There's no way that we're going to be able to reach all of them, and we don't have to. But
there's over 1 billion on Facebook alone.
Right. And it's like, it's like, wow, you know, like, it's like mind blowing. And the thing is, we have to continue to be visible. Like, I've had clients, for example, Virginia, that are not consistent with putting their message out there. Okay. And what I mean by getting visible, and I have to make this clear, is just not promoting and not just trying to go after the sale all the time. People don't like that. It's, you know, people don't like that. You have to build a relationship with people. So the best way to get visible is to provide value. And what I mean by that is that you, as a business owner, you are the expert. You have knowledge that the market does not know about, and you have to give that to them to let them know why their product or service is important, how it's going to solve their problem or give them pleasure. And that is it. When it comes down to your messaging and getting visible, if any one of those is off balance, you're not going to attract the right people to you for your business, and you're going to struggle. So the way that this is how I do it. You got to be, your messaging has to be right. You have to know who you're targeting. Who is your perfect client? Who is your perfect customer? Because what you have is not for everyone. So you have to break that down to detail, like their gender, where they live, are they married, single, children, are they working part-time, full-time? I mean, as if your perfect customer is sitting in front of you, you have to write all that down, because that way your messaging can be right on point by the time you take it out to the market to attract the people in who are a good fit for your product or service. When you attract them in, you start building a relationship with these people, and then they'll see how much value you provide them and how much you know as an expert. And you can also, while you're building these relationships with these people, and I do this through email list building and of course live events, interviews, there's all sorts of ways to provide value. You know, it's just whatever what fits for you. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. So
I am.
Okay.
That's technology.
Okay.
No, I was going to say, and I, having watched you on Facebook, and I'm assuming you're translating this onto Instagram in small little clips, since they only take small clips, but you're using Facebook Live a lot to get your visibility and your message out there, aren't you?
Absolutely. Because video is where it's at. Live streaming is where we can get the most bang for our buck, the most visibility, and we can do it pretty darn cheap. You know, I'm talking about pennies pennies to get visible out there. Like I posted one day, Virginia, that I don't think I will ever have an ad that does not have a video ever, you know, that does not include video, because just the return on investment, the engagement, plus people get to see you as the person. They get to see you, the person behind the business, because people today, they want to see who you are as a person. You know, even with the big brand, you know, the big brands, the giants, they have people that are the face of their company. And that's how it is with you as a business owner. You should put yourself out there because people want to see you. They want to know you. You know, you're more than just your business. You're an individual, and people connect to that. People can connect to that, and it makes it so much easier for you to not only attract the right people, but to make consistent revenue, because you're building a community and relationships with the people who are either your clients or customers, or people who aren't yet, but they're not, it's just not their time yet.
Let's move that into the main topic of collaboration, because I know we've got people just sort of chomping at the bit to hear about that, because I know that's a big segment of your business and how you can grow your business quickly and profitably with collaboration. So start talking about that, and maybe how you can also use that with some of these visibility techniques and strategies that you use.
Absolutely, yes. I am a firm believer in collaboration because it is the thing that has caused major breakthroughs in my business. I learned 5 years late into my business that it is pretty hard to build a successful business alone. I was under the impression, since I was building my own business, I had to figure everything out. But even though I was doing okay for those 5 years, it was nowhere close to where I wanted to be. So I invested in myself, hired a mentor, and I started connecting with other entrepreneurs. Of course, my mentor was telling me, you've got to connect with people, whether and not just other business owners, but even people that may be a good customer, but you're not just trying to sell them, you're trying to build a relationship with them, to really know what they want and how they think. It's so important for us to know what our target audience wants and needs and what their problems are. So it's good to build a relationship with them without expecting anything. You know, there doesn't have to be that transaction going on at that time. So the reason why I'm a firm believer in collaboration, like I said, it has moved mountains for my business. It has accelerated the growth of my business. I would say about 3 or 4 months into using certain collaborative strategies, my business took off. I became an international best-selling author because of collaboration. I collaborated with 27 other wonderful women entrepreneurs, and we collaborated on a book by the name of Bold is Beautiful. My friend Kim Boudreaux Smith compiled the book, and we just wrote a chapter for this book. And this book is for women who want to make bold decisions in their life and have no regrets. So it's basically a piece of our life story in one chapter from each and every one of us. And that book, not even 4 hours after it was released, Virginia, it became an international bestseller. And since I was a child, I always wanted to write a book and be like Stephen King and Dean Koontz and, you know, Anne Rice and all of that. And my dream was fulfilled, you know, within 4 hours, not just of publishing the book, but an international bestselling author. And that's when I really realized the power of collaboration, because it's so much easier to work with other entrepreneurs to get a message out there. Because if it wasn't for all 27 of us working as a team, and keep in mind that some of us were in similar businesses and some of us weren't, you know, some women weren't even entrepreneurs. But the thing was, all of us working together on this book, we were able to get visible out there like gangbusters online and through our network and word of mouth. And that's why it happened, because if I would have created that book all by myself, there's no way I would have gotten the traction and the power and that acceleration by myself. There's just no way. And
yeah, well, part of it is that you're all promoting together. You're all
yes.
getting the word out. You
Yeah.
all have different reach. You all have different audiences. So, I mean, it makes absolute sense. What are some of the other ways that you are now teaching collaboration? Question number one. Question number two, to wrap into it, is how can people find good collaborative partners?
Okay. First one is, there are many different ways, and it doesn't even have to be at a huge scale. If you are collaborating with it, I mean, you and I, we're doing a collaboration right now, right? Also, you can collaborate by co-hosting a workshop, a teleclass, some type of event. It's basically you and somebody else who has, you know, their own skill sets and their gifts, and you combine that with yours, and something amazing happens. It's something that just cannot be created alone. Like, it's just powerful, and people really just underestimate how powerful it is, except those mega successful entrepreneurs. They know when they're a part of a collective work, they're seen as an expert. And you know that saying, birds of a feather flock together, it is true. You know, you get, I mean, by association. So it's always good as an entrepreneur to consistently expand your network so you can find people that can make great collaborative partners, not maybe right then and there, but maybe 6 months down the line, maybe a year. You just never know. So here are my ways. One way that I'm doing right now, I organized a virtual summit of 30 women, and it's for mompreneurs. 30, okay, that is a big collaboration. It's the biggest thing I've ever done. Another way is co-authoring a book. Another way is co-hosting a podcast or a video series. There's just so many ways, or free or paid online workshops or events. Like, you and somebody else, or 3 or 4 of y'all could do this. So it's whatever your comfort level is, you know, because, you know, I'm an introvert. And a lot of people wouldn't know it if I didn't say it. But when I started networking and collaborating with people, I started small. And it actually started with me interviewing people. And then I got comfortable, and then I just started doing bigger things. So it's not hard to do. And you can even collaborate with your existing clients and customers. They can get the word out for you. You know, you involve them in stuff. You can involve them in the creative process of a product that you want to launch, or a service that you want to launch. You know, you're collaborating with them, which makes it amazing because you're hearing from them what they like, what they don't like, and what could be improved to make your product or service better. And I even use collaboration in my personal life. You know, if the house is a mess, we're all going to collaborate together and get things done. You know, it's like I use it just about in everything. Things get done faster. You never know what doors are going to open by doing this. So as long as you continue to expand your network and I think competition is just a lie. I think of it, not competition, as that could be a collaborator, not a competitor, a collaborator. So when your mind shifts from thinking competition to collaborator, the whole dynamic of your business is going to change, especially when you're intentionally doing certain things through collaboration to further excel your business, get visible. Like, all these things happen. It's not one thing. It's like 4 or 5 things happening simultaneously to help your business. That's why in 2013, my business like exploded. And, you know, I kick myself in the butt still, because if I would have done this from day one, I probably would have reached my goal like within year 3. So I always emphasize and encourage, whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, that you want to infuse collaborative strategies into your business model. You don't have to change up everything, but, you know, start doing things to work with other people to help you get the word out. It increases your visibility, You get looked to as an expert. There's other people working with you. So, I mean, you're going to be seen everywhere. People are going to be like, wow, well, she's working with her now. They're working together. I mean, it's just, and you see these little, I guess, cliques in the entrepreneurial world of the same groups of people that work together and do things together.
Yeah, I find it that you're looking for the complement. So complementary, I like the idea of that. I use them as well, even with courses that I'm offering, because I like what I call the idea of integrative marketing, where you actually are working with other people who have something that's complementary to what you do that will enhance what you are already offering.
Absolutely.
And that's a better way to put something into what you might call a bonus or a part of your course. Some of mine are bonuses. Some of them are actually segments of my course where I've brought in a complementary teacher who's just really good at that particular key area. And it gives them, the person you're collaborating with, the opportunity to get exposed again to a whole new group of people that they might not have been introduced to. We could talk about this for a long time, Stacie, but we've run out of time.
Oh.
And I do want to give people an opportunity to pick up your gift, and also for you to tell them a little bit about the virtual summit. So we've got two things quickly to do here. Let's start with the gift. I'm going to post it while you talk to them about that, and what why they want to go and pick it up, and then a little bit of how it wraps into the virtual summit. So here is the link coming up, and I will highlight it so people can write it down, especially those of you who are viewing this in iTunes later on. Go ahead and pick this up at hmtips.com/Stacie Gift. hmtips.com/Stacie Gift. I will post it in the comments. And Stacie, go ahead and talk about it for a minute.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Virginia. Well, it's a PDF. It's a downloadable PDF. It's 3 credibility boosters for your business. Basically, it ties into what I talked about today about collaboration, because collaboration definitely does increase your credibility. You're looked to as an expert, and also you're able to build a database of people to build a relationship with to further increase your credibility. So I have 3 ways that you can boost your credibility as a business owner. There are 3 simple ways, just to change up how you're doing things in your business to get the credibility you need to further accelerate in your business. And that ties into my virtual summit. This is the first huge mega online conference that I have put together. It's like insane, and I've been working on it for so long. So it's called the Ambitious Mompreneur Virtual Summit, and it is I have 30 amazing speakers. They're all women, mothers, and they are sharing their journey, their entrepreneurial journey, or just their journey as moms and successful business owners. I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is perfect for a woman out there who is on the fence about starting her business and just has not made that move. I've had an opportunity to have all of these women, including myself, I'm speaker number 30, to share our stories, because there's struggles. There's never a perfect time. We had fears. So I'm sure every attendee will be able to resonate with at least one person in that summit to get off that fence and create that incredible life that you deserve and want for not only yourself, but your family. And that these all tie in together, because the virtual summit is something that can definitely boost your credibility as an entrepreneur. Increasing our credibility never ends, no matter where we are. So it's always good to make sure that we focus on that, no matter where we are in our business.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, and we sort of skimmed over the topic on credibility. But yeah, these are all different ways that you can establish yourself as an expert. And certainly a virtual summit is a great way to do it. And, you know, I think they're the trend now, because it's difficult for people to travel long distances to go to a conference. It's expensive. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to find collaborative partners. So I don't say that you shouldn't do it, but I think that these are a good thing to augment your business with, is getting involved in a virtual summit or doing one yourself. So Stacie may be the gal to help you with that, because she said she doesn't believe in teaching something she hasn't done. And so she is now doing that. We've gone over time here, but I think the information was very valuable, Stacie. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with everybody. Thank you. Those of you who have been here with us live and being so interactive, we appreciate your comments, and hopefully you've picked up Stacie's gift. Again, if you want to pick it up, all you have to do is go to hmtips.com/Stacie gift, and she will have that for you. And again, if you want to learn more about the summit, I think you can probably find that on her website as well, which is where this link will be taking you. So again, Stacie, I want to thank you so much for being here today and sharing a wealth of information, sharing your story, which is all part of the path of becoming a profitable entrepreneur. And thank you, everyone who's been here live. We appreciate your interaction. That makes it so much more fun. So have a terrific day, everyone. Go out and make it a great week. And Stacie and I will see you on the internet.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.